This is Scott Spears, and coming up on Saturday night, February 8th, right here in Marion, Ohio, at the Steve Hogg Rec Center, located at 775 North Main Street, we have an epic event in the history of Classic Championship Wrestling. It is Valentine Violence with a big double main event. The night after the Olympics start in Russia, we have the Russian Brute of the AWA reuniting with the very evil, devious Ox Baker after a 30-year absence to face Nikolai Volkov, probably the most famous Russian wrestler in the history of the wrestling business. But on this night, Nikolai Volkov will represent America. The Russian Brute will represent Russia in a flag match. Bobo Brazil Jr., son of the legendary Bobo Brazil, in Nikolai Volkov's corner to offset anything the evil Ox Baker might do. Ohio State legend Satch Sullinger, special referee in this encounter. The other half of the big double main event, Bobo Brazil Jr. himself, AWA United States heavyweight champion, will be putting the title on the line against another one of the legendary Ox Baker's proteges, a legend in his own right, WWE Hall of Famer, Greg the Hammer Valentine. A whole host of matches going on that night. Uncle Hogg, Mr. 90210, a lot of people in action. And the thing people have been asking most recently, more than anything else, is who is the commissioner of Classic Championship Wrestling? As everybody knows who's been watching the TV, President Terry Tackett stripped of all his powers. Big event coming up, a lot of big personalities. Who could keep it all under control? And a few days ago, the word was leaked that Classic Championship Wrestling had met with the one and only living legend of professional wrestling, Larry Zbyszko. But there have been some rumblings in the last few days. Will Larry appear? Has he taken the job? Who knows? Well, as we say in the news business, we must go to the source. So joining us via telephone from his home in Florida, we have wrestling's only living legend, Larry Zbyszko. Larry, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing very good, Scott. I'm enjoying the 80-degree weather here in Florida and watching the news and people suffering up north.
Don't tease us, Larry.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Larry, the big question on everybody's mind has been, have you taken the position? Will you be here February 8th as commissioner?
Well, after I talked to some people, people at Capital Wrestling are very nice, very professional. And after hearing names of old adversaries and colleagues of mine, Nikolai Volkov, Greg the Hammer, Hall of Famer. I remember Greg when he broke Jay Strongbow's leg, the Chief's leg with the figure 4, back in the WWF. And Ox Baker. Ox was one of the biggest, ugliest, scariest dudes ever. He was a classic. But after I heard that, I was thrilled to take the job. So I'm going to be the commissioner down there, and I'm going to make sure everything's cool and the people have a great time, and I get to meet them all. And we'll see what some of my old buddies do in this ring.
It's official. Larry Zbyszko, the commissioner here at Classic Championship Wrestling. Now, Larry, a few questions have come on the table because you're right. A lot of your old friends are going to be there. But when it comes to competition and being a commissioner, you have to make hard calls, even though a lot of the guys are your friends down through the years. And certainly with this double main event and all the attention on this Russia versus United States thing with the Olympics starting the night before this event, there could be a lot to police that night.
Well, it's going to be an interesting night, and I'll tell you why. Because you used the word friends, and I didn't know if I said friends. If I did, I didn't mean friends. They were your compatriots. They were associates. But you have to realize that professional wrestler, especially back in the days of, true survival when there were no rules, like where Greg the Hammer and Nikolai Volkov and Ox come from, and myself, that these guys aren't normal people. You have to be half insane to be a professional wrestler and do that to yourself, for so many years and live the life we did. So as far as I'm concerned, my heart, it couldn't be colder than a block of dry ice, Scott, because personally, I don't care who wins. I'm just kind of rooting for the guy who can beat the other guy. I'm proud of him for being able to put the tights on and still go at it. Greg the Hammer, he looks like he did, 20 years ago. He's still a tank. And Nikolai, big guy, it's amazing how he can move. So it's going to be a cool night. So, but whoever wins, I don't personally care. I'm just going to make sure whoever wins is going to be the better man.
And that being said, Larry, certainly Greg the Hammer, you're exactly right, stayed in great shape. Nikolai Volkov, same thing. Russian Brute, the same thing. But you've got to know, you have kind of a special, your career is sort of entwined with Ox Baker and the Russian Brute, being that you were the last AWA World Champion. The last time Baker and the Brute were together was in the AWA when the doors shut down. And you certainly know that Ox is not above getting involved in something.
Well, Ox, would you buy a used car from Ox Baker?
Not with those eyebrows.
No, no, Ox. But the only thing about Ox Baker for sure is, you can't trust him. So you got to watch your back. And, believe me, I will have my eye on Ox Baker. Every trick in the book Ox knows, I know. So
if Ox should get involved, because smart money is, that could happen. Your job as a commissioner, what would you do? Are you hands-on?
Well, it would depend what happened. Luckily, I've been a very lucky guy. I have no artificial parts. I feel real good. I'm in good shape. And Ox, I know has had some problems and some aches and pains. So there's no doubt in my mind. I could give Ox a good ass whooping. So Ox just better mind his P's and Q's. If I say, something, I expect Ox to listen, or he'll get the old boot up the kazoo.
Well, Larry, that's very strong from a commissioner. I don't think we've had a commissioner in the past.
I'm a very strong commissioner. I'm what they call an old shooter.
Well, that being said, there have been some rumblings, and I can't confirm this, but, Ox likes to talk, you said it yourself, big, mean, and ugly, and biggest mouth in the business, that he was not happy that you were the AWA World Champion when the company shut the doors, and he felt that you ducked the Russian Brute, and I don't think there ever was a match. And I know that's bothered Ox for some 30 years now.
Well, I'm glad it did. I hope it haunts him every night. It was just a matter of bad timing, but I wrestled everybody in the AWA. That was the day where the territories were ending. And basically the two big conglomerates at the time, the WWE and the brand new WCW, nationwide, TV company networks were going to go head to head. It was the last of the territory days. And I wrestled Harley Race and Wahoo and Nikolai Volkov and got Sergeant Slaughter, Bockwinkel, and you got some other guys, if I thought, Kerry Von Erich, Saito, in the late 80s, 90s. But then it was just time to close the doors. The Brute probably would have got a shot, but I think the poor guy just ran out of time. He just wasn't in line. He could have been the next guy in line, right as the door slammed in his face. So Ox has been pissed about that, huh?
That's what I hear.
That's funny.
Well, Larry, and it's an interesting thing in this match, because we have a referee, special enforcer referee, Ohio State legend Big Satch Sullinger. An unseasoned referee, definitely a big, strong, tough guy, knows about the football, the basketball, that's his thing, but not a seasoned referee. Can he keep Ox Baker in line? But on the other side, you got Bobo Brazil Jr., and you've got two wily veterans in the Brute and Nikolai.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game of human chess. That's what I said. I was excited about it. It'll be cool to be the commission, make sure that, the line is drawn in the sand, and watch these guys beat the snot out of each other. It's going to be great.
Have two other things I want to address real quick here, Larry. One is, a lot of people have asked me, because of your great commentary work in WCW and in other arenas, will you be doing commentary that night as well?
Well, I did agree to do some. I love doing the color. I at this stage, to sit there like a fan and watch the new guys, try to achieve their dream is cool. And I know so much about it. I've been around so long that it comes easy to me. So it's like I get a free ringside seat and I get to have fun. It's talking to the crowd. So I'll definitely be doing some of that. I like doing that.
And the other question I want to get into, Larry, and it's certainly, we all know you had a great, great wrestling career, and now pretty well at this point in your career have hung up the trunks, and certainly well deserved.
Burned them.
All gone. But there are some young guys who, when they heard Larry Zbyszko was coming in, it's not a match, it's not about that for them, but a lot of guys can make a career by putting their hands on a legend. They think they can become a legend.
I know. It's the old Texas gunslinger syndrome. If you were the fastest gun alive, there's always some young nitwit that shows up that wants to make a name. But I'm long done. Like I said, I've been lucky. I haven't I've never gotten hurt, so I'm going to keep it that way. But on the other hand, I forgot more than these new guys know. Any of these punks give me a problem, I'll choke them out in 10 seconds.
So you can defend yourself is the key.
Oh, yeah, I've got cauliflower ears.
The question to wrap up here, Larry, and what a night it's going to be, and I do want to let fans know again, it is February the 8th, just right around the corner, big Saturday night, 7 p.m. start time. Legends will be all around. Greg the Hammer Valentine, Bobo Brazil Jr., Ox Baker, Nikolai Volkov, the Russian Brute, the living legend Larry Zbyszko, and a whole host of young talent involved that night. Get your tickets at U.S. Gold here in Marion, 1207 Mount Vernon Avenue, right next to Perkins, $8 a shot. Going to be some autograph signings that Larry will be involved in. We'll get those up on the website, so go to Classic Championship Wrestling, Marion, Ohio on Facebook to find out about that. But final question here, legend, and that's a good term for this question. Hall of Fame right around the corner. Last year, I don't know if I want to say mentor, but certainly a man who very important in your career, Bruno Sammartino.
Oh, yeah. He was my mentor.
Mentor finally goes into the Hall of Fame after many, many years. It was great to see in Madison Square Garden. This year, kind of an interesting class so far. Jake the Snake and Ultimate Warrior have been announced. There'll be a whole host of others, I'm sure. We know you belong there. We know you're with the WWE now. The Internet people can see that. Has it been offered? Would you accept? Could it happen?
Well, nobody said anything to me about it. It would definitely be an honor. I would be, thrilled to accept it. But and hopefully someday, we'll see. But
I think it'll happen.
I don't know anything yet, but it would definitely be a thrill of a lifetime and a great ending to a career. But we'll see what happens, brother.
Let me say this, Larry. If it does happen this year, next year, you'll be around many years. It'll happen.
Yeah, I'm not planning. I'm not checking out right away. I look good.
Yeah, you got plenty, and people can come out and see that February the 8th. If you did get inducted, who would you want to do the honors?
Oh God. You know what? I mean, God, the whole beginning of my dream was to be like my hero, and then I kind of became like my hero after being shot at and stabbed and most hated. But I think for a legendary ending to one of the biggest historic feuds ever, I think Bruno should induct me. That would be cool, and he was my mentor.
Very apropos. Larry, I got to ask you while we have you here, why do so many guys admire Bruno?
You know what? He was that great, brother. I mean, if you were raised in the days of Bruno in his prime when he was doing his thing, he was so great. He was a hero. He was the Muhammad Ali of boxing, or the one guy that makes the sport. He was so beloved by the people. He was a very humble guy, but you look at him, he looked like a gorilla. And when Bruno said something, he meant it, and people believed in him, and he was a real hero to them.
He absolutely was.
Believe me, I know.
you caught the brunt of that at the end of his career. And then all you have to do is go back and look at any of his matches at the Garden. When he comes to the ring, you can tell. You can tell why.
The building used to shake. Bruno would come out, just his look, and they know he's ready to go. And I mean, the people would be so excited, the building would be shaking. And in those days, there was no music, no fireworks. Just stepped out and boom, the building shut. And it was a great time.
I have to say it's going to be a big night once again, February the 8th, just about a week away. 7 p.m. start time, Steve Hogg Rec Center, 775 North Main Street. Like I said, the card is one for the ages. Greg the Hammer Valentine, Bobo Brazil Jr., Ox Baker, Nikolai Volkov, the Russian Brute, and, of course, the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. And, Larry, one more rumor I want to clear up. You have that AWA belt, and I heard it might be coming with you. Ox might get one more look at it.
Oh, well, you know what? I do. I mean, I retired with the belt when they shut the doors, and kept it. And it's amazing how many people offered me money on eBay. But and I still got it. It's still in the family, But maybe I should bring it just to tease on. Rub it in, not that a wrestler would do that, but of course I should.
Of course you should. It sounds like it might happen. February the 8th. Larry, it's a pleasure to talk with you, and it will be a pleasure to be there with you in a little over a week, very little over a week. It's going to be fun. Just warm the weather up a little bit. I'm looking forward to coming up and meeting all the people that haven't been there in a long time. And kind of even in the old days of the 70s with Georgia, we flew into Columbus, in Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, probably in Marion years ago in the 70s. It was a great area. We'll turn the heaters on.
Yeah, turn up the heat.
We'll turn up the heat. And remember, not only the event, check out times for those autograph signings, because Larry will be doing some of those while he's in town next week. It'll be a lot of fun. Don't miss it.